Agent teaches his first class at Streamer U. Shoot. That's
First
what
thing I would like to
learn.
say is I know everybody's streaming, but if everybody keep talking and stuff like that and interrupt, it's gonna make it very difficult to get through this. I think y'all will learn something. Let's lock in, bro. I know everybody's really excited because
got
this is
the
a great
little Tone
opportunity. I
sponsorship
bet the
on the
views are
side.
looking good. You're meeting a lot of cool
Shoot,
people.
okay.
Things of that nature. But there's gonna be a long time after this where you will hopefully still be streaming and hopefully still be succeeding. So you want to learn some of these concepts.
Pretty sure
and
Toners are
I'm gonna
like-
keep it practical as possible because I want
Isn't
you guys
Tone like
actually
deodorant?
apply some of the stuff that's going on.
Or is it a drink?
Before we get
I think it's
started,
deodorant.
who's been here that's been streaming
Might
for more
be,
than
might
like
be.
2 years?
Right here.
Okay, that's about half the class. Who's a newer streamer like the last year or so? Okay, nice. Okay, cool. So we got a little bit of everything. We're gonna structure it like quiet
Okay,
down.
shout out
We're
to
gonna
them.
structure
They
like
popping off.
0 to 1 million followers. So
themselves
we're gonna
known.
start with the first bit from 0 to 250,000 followers. Then we're gonna go to the middle from 250 to 750,000 followers, and then beyond that. In the presentation, I'm gonna tell you like what your team should potentially look like, what you should be spending your time, potentially your money on, and certain concepts and things you should be practicing and understanding in those different stages if you want to make it to the next and next level. All right? If you have any
I'm trying to make it
questions,
to the
just
next
ask,
level.
and
Let's see.
we'll keep it pushing.
Let's see what you got for us.
All right, nice. So first thing I want to start by saying is this is not easy. I know it's presented like it's easy and it looks really fun, but it's harder than you think. So this graph, I thought it was very fascinating. And
Alright. So boom. I'm not gonna lie. That little week I was gone, I was like, dang, this chunk is a little bit harder than I thought because I have to actually like sit there and I have to cut up and edit my own stuff, and then I have to make sure it looks entertaining enough, and I'm just like, dang, it's not even that entertaining. It's unfortunate, but yeah.
it does kind of illustrate just how challenging being seen as a content creator could be. This graph is the subscriber count for Kai Cenat's Kai's Mind channel. His first upload was in December. He was at 500 subscribers in December with dozens of uploads. I'm talking about Kai Cenat. Now, granted, he was uploading as almost like an experiment to see like, he was just saying things that was on his mind. It wasn't super high appeal content. But it's interesting to think even one of the biggest people on the internet can upload dozens of videos to an unknown channel with under 500 subscribers. It wasn't until he promoted
that
it
Kai's
in
Mind
March
thing was
where it got a
a
huge
good
spike and it reached
experiment.
500,000. So like if you're struggling and you've been doing it for a while, sometimes it's not necessarily that you suck, it's just you haven't quite figured out certain concepts yet. So that's what I'm gonna try and click. There's a lot of people
Click on
here
the concepts,
that's
I
like
guess.
super entertaining that I see.
Especially with the Kai's
But it's
Mind
not enough
example.
to be entertaining. We all have the entertaining friend that hasn't quite hit yet. And then we all have the friend that's maybe not that entertaining that's been doing phenomenal. You just had to, like Mr. B is not the most entertaining person, but he knows how to put together a good video. So
That is very true, bro. Bro, you hardly see Mr. Beast in his own videos nowadays. He just like comes around, he narrates something like he's like omnipotent, like kind of narrator, and he just leaves unless the other people do the thing for him. That is kind of crazy. That's a good example.
in the same way, we're gonna talk a lot about other platforms because one thing you'll realize as a streamer, you have to be on everything. If you're not on IG Reels, sometimes you gotta be on Facebook. You gotta be on literally everything because that's how you're gonna drive the people to your stream. All right, so talking a little about that today. We're gonna start off in the 0 to 250,000 followers. If you have 0 to 250,000 followers on the platform you stream on, could you raise your hands? 0 to 250,000 followers. Under 250. On the main platform you stream on.
I mean, but I got a main platform and I got a
Yeah,
She kind of dragging a little
don't
bit.
stream.
yeah, like if you got say you got Instagram, you don't stream on there, you got higher followers than your streaming platform. You got
It
the
don't matter, just the main one, you know? Just
Yeah, that's the main
All
one.
right, so you probably heard it before.
That's a fair
I'm going
question,
to
though.
really kind of like drill it in. You have to apply short form. I'm not even joking. Like if you stream significantly less and did more short form, you would see significantly more growth. In this current stage, and I'm gonna give you guys some certain case examples. And I want to bust some myths too because some people,
I swear, Queso just popped up overnight, bro. It was actually kind of crazy. And he started doing all those little like side content things because he was a 2K streamer at first, I'm pretty sure. And he moved on, transitioned into little micro friend swap games. Cause I remember I saw him playing Schedule 1, and bro, he was the funniest person ever. Oh my god, he's just so funny. He was gonna pop off no matter what, bro. But yeah, mainly saw him on TikTok though. And Joe Bartolozzi, oh my god. Oh my god. Love Joe. Made because he's from Jersey. Shout out to Jersey.
Have some misconceptions. So Queso is a really good example of someone who grew playing 2K content on TikTok. He was a 2K TikTok content creator. It doesn't feel like it because a lot can change in 2 years, but he was.
2K
and his
content
channel
creator.
blew up. He had some really big clips, and he was able to transition that audience into streaming.
Does
You
he
might
still
think to
play
yourself,
2K?
Okay, that was like 2-3 years ago. How about
might
something
still
more
play
recent?
2K. Who
Joe
knows?
Bart. Joe Bart did a lot of like rants, commentary style content on TikTok. He was able to transition that content. He's one of the biggest streamers on
Love
Twitch right
watching
now,
Joe
but it didn't happen
Bartolozzi.
overnight.
He,
He's
like,
someone that
drops
killed it
hella
on TikTok.
videos every
One
day.
thing you notice about both of them, they're not just good on TikTok. They own it. These guys are demons that exist on the platform. To dominate it is how you make that transition. And you might be thinking, okay, Joe Bart low-key blew up on TikTok 2 years ago. Maybe a more recent example. This is a guy that makes racing content that's probably not going to appeal to most people. He started with 0 subscribers, 0. He actually started with 0 videos. All he did was post YouTube shorts. That's all he did. And they were really good. I'm talking, he was getting 2 million views a short, 2 million views a short, 1 million views a short. Really, like, to me, super interesting content. If you're anywhere in the niche, then this type of content that you would want to watch. His first YouTube video, I took the screenshot a couple weeks ago. It had 680,000 views in 2 weeks. It is over 1 million now. His first YouTube video, 1 million views.
It's rare though to translate.
It-
Shorts and long form don't translate as good.
But it does on YouTube. So we'll talk a little bit about that. YouTube Shorts translates to YouTube videos really well now.
I disagree with that.
You're wrong.
You just said you're wrong.
That I'm right. I just say I disagree. I've been doing this for 12 years, and I have built.
Wait,
so
hold
many
on. Go
pages.
back.
I'm right. I just say I disagree. I've been doing this for 12 years, and
But you're not saying you're right, but you disagree. That kind of makes sense, but you're kind of contradicting. You know what? I'm gonna just let the video
I
play.
built so many different pages, and I'm not saying it doesn't work for him. I'm just saying I feel like I disagree that it works. For him.
We'll circle back to it at the end of
Oh,
the talk.
okay.
'Cause
She
I'm
explained it a
gonna
little
explain
bit
through
more.
The concepts,
Okay.
Okay, so
I like the way she articulates herself.
when it comes
She
to
kept
short form,
going.
this actually does apply just in general. You need some sort of hook, okay? I'm gonna say something, and it's gonna sound a little pseudo and like theoretical, but it's not. It's very, very practical. Do you guys have like an idea of what your audience wants to watch?
Hell no.
Okay, now we're talking.
Hell no.
Being able to like put yourself in your audience shoes is the biggest superpower a content creator have. The same way that being able to put yourself in a customer's shoes is the best power a business can have. If you don't have an idea of what your community wants to see, you're gonna airball a lot of shots. It don't mean you can't airball some shots. You're not gonna hit everything. But having a good hook is a good premise. So like, I'm gonna show some examples of hooks that I think are really good in different ways, and then you can start to think about how you can apply that to your content. The reason why I say that is because when it comes to short form, if you don't have a good hook, you're setting yourself up for failure. You only have a certain amount of time to capture somebody's interest.
Hey.
So what I would like to present
Y'all been watching. I've been trying to practice my hook a little bit. Hey, let me know if I'm doing good on the hooks.
is next time you're scrolling short form, next time you're even watching long form YouTube videos, I want you to think about what you're thinking about while you're watching it. What about it specifically is interesting? You will start to pick up a lot of strategies from the stuff you like that you could apply into your own content.
That's fair.
Hold on.
Ooh, SpongeBob
Goodness
fit.
gracious,
That's
Pudgy.
tough.
No shirt, bro?
God
All right.
damn. I look, you might have to censor that.
Dub, you can't sit in this front row. You gotta find somewhere else. Hey, quiet down, please.
Hey, listen. This is Professor of the Year for Class of 2025. This is one of the most important classes on our campus. Please listen. We're not in elementary. You see people walking, we don't gotta talk to them waving nothing. Jordan,
I made it.
we don't gotta be waving at people coming in late.
They came in late. I made sure to shop
Pay attention,
early.
please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dean Sinet. If you're really popular on a platform, like some of you guys, like Alyssa, you have a face that people have seen on TikTok a lot, you can use your face as the hook. You know what I'm saying? If you look at a lot of AMP videos, we just use our faces as the hook. So like if, for example,
Yeah, I've actually noticed that a lot recently. There's a couple creators I can name off the top of my head that do use their face as a hook, like Berleezy. Corey been using that junk for mad long. There's this YouTuber named Mikey that I've seen use his face as a hook, bro. yo, it low key pops off each and every time. They don't even
who
have
here
to.
is, like,
They don't even have to put like any words on it. They just use their face, show like a funny moment inside the video, and it's just like that.
known for something that, Dub, what are you known for?
Having a son and food now.
I need a
nice.
movie.
Well, in that instance, you could use your face in certain contexts that apply to that, right? If somebody thinks you're really knowledgeable with money and you're doing a money topic, sometimes your face is gonna be the thing that hooks people. So, you know, it doesn't have to be like a big thumbnail with a fucking red circle, you know? And then like you just have to, well, we'll explain a little bit later, but it just has to be like an itch that you can hook. So I got a couple examples here. I'm gonna show you the good example first. Hopefully it works. There we go. Yeah, let me turn this motherfucker up.
Are these faces?
Well, after making his apologies and claiming that he missed breakpoint, I thought we were done there. But the very next race, I found myself next to him again. This time I'm driving a McLaren and in a tight battle of my own, getting squeezed onto a curb before making a move around the outside of another.
Oh, this is the racing dude.
Exit after he taps me on the rear, putting me into the snapping jaws of the cars behind. Suddenly I
Yo,
found
low-key
myself
getting it.
defended from 4 different drivers and start
Yo, he making his jump mad. Look
Okay, so
mad
that's an example
nice.
that's a very activating short. I can sit down and explain to you guys all the reasons why, the angles, the voiceover, where he threw it to, where he got it back. But then you could compare that. Let's short that guy like a
Yeah, like that guy he was giving us all sorts of angles on the race. He was showing us the guy that was snapping on him. He was showing him contesting with the guy, and then he highlighted the other cars in red.
million views.
Using
to
color
this short, which is
to
the same
draw your
concept.
attention.
Is somebody that crashed into him.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. You mother. Mother. I make it.
So it's the same concept. He did the same thing. They both had the same experience. Somebody hit him. He's playing a racing game. Somebody hit him. One guy went through the effort of getting all these cinematic shots, making sure you had no chance for your attention to get lost. Another person just played a clip. There's levels to this.
What if you don't have editing skills like that?
You gotta find editing skills.
Yeah, you do
And
gotta find it.
I will say, we're gonna get to it in a little bit, but a lot of the skills you hire for
Everybody
are
starts
actually things
somewhere.
you should
Practice
know.
makes perfect.
One, you're gonna know if someone's scamming you if you know how it's done. But then two, on top of that, if they're not available and for some reason you need to get down and dirty, you should know how to edit a video. You should know how to edit a short. You should know how to do all the things you hire for. That's why I know how to make lotion and shit. That's the tone guys here.
Oh, tone is lotion.
So I would like to say it's not always a success, and you always have to be trying stuff. So
It's like Moist
even
Critical in
the
his
biggest
soap.
streamers in the building,
Cheeky.
they miss
Was it called
sometimes.
Cheeky?
You can do some stuff that doesn't hit all the time, but you should always be applying the principles. So I started a gaming page in my head. I
You
know
got
what does that
Kaizen
mean.
here watching.
The gaming page is at what? 200. It's like at 30,000 subscribers right now. It's performing well, views per video, but I'm not farming subs enough. What should I do in that instance? Lean into shorts. So not only am I posting YouTube shorts consistently now, but I also created a gaming Instagram so I could apply more shorts. And there's actually a pretty good conversion between Instagram Reels and content off platform. Instagram is actually maybe the most underrated thing in content right now.
Instagram.
So let me give you a couple examples of hooks. This is an example of a hook where the caption is what makes you intrigued in the
Not gonna lie, with Instagram, you open them comments in the reels, and it's like anarchy down there. That's probably why it's so popular, because you get hella impressions. So let's say the video looks kind of silly. Open the comments, it's gonna be some guy saying like some crazy slur. And then you're just like, yup, these are Instagram reel comments. Go down to the next video. You looking at the comments again. Oh, yup, these are Instagram reel comments, bro. The comments on Instagram reels are the funniest thing about Instagram reels, bro.
content. I mean, I don't want to sign in, so. I think it's just the internet, to be honest with you.
God damn.
Yeah, so first of all, that's prosthetics. It's not my real forehead.
I was about to say, damn, not much better, brother. Sure, I'm one to speak, bro.
Okay,
My
but the
fault.
premise is that
Damn near the same
once you read
forehead
the
as him.
caption, the bouncer says no hats. You got no choice but to fucking stick around to see why the caption says that. The caption make you want to stay to the end. and you obviously can see the hat, and just, you know, it's implied that I'm gonna review the hat. But by the time you finish it, you're like, damn, that was so crazy. Maybe I watch it again. Now you loop somebody. Now you get mad watch time. Feel me? So this is an example of an Instagram reel that we posted like last week that performed pretty well. Yeah, what's that?
So a lot of my videos have POV, like you're 27 and single, so you're going on a solo date. Like I'm known for my mukbang and solo date. Do you think POV is like important? If you think that's why the videos are hitting so much, because POV is so relevant?
It is impossible to answer without knowing your audience. It is like super audience specific. So I would have to look at your specific audience and see why something may or may not hit. Because something that hit for you might not hit for the next person. Feel me? So this is a thumbnail hook where the actual thumbnail, the content of the thumbnail is what makes you want to watch. So this is a clip
They on Guy Azo?
I reposted like
It's been a minute since I've seen that clip in
I
that,
for
bro.
a 48-hour stream where I came down, rappelled from the ceiling, but you don't have to know any of that. It says craziest Twitch intro. Why is it so?
Bro, I used to be in the, oh my God, Gaezo was so terrible for me. I don't know if it was because I'm a bad PSD or what, but every time I use Gaezo, my junk would come out in like 180p, and it would basically be like the most pixelated GIF I could ever get. It was horrid, bro.
So crazy. Well, why is this guy rappelling from the roof? So it adds like some interesting appeal. Who this applies for is anybody that watch streams. Why is this better than any Twitch intro I've seen before? It might not even be the best, but it's a unique one. It's unique enough to where every time I post it, it does well. I repost it like every 3 months. But in my opinion, like now you're using a thumbnail, you're using a caption, you could use somebody's face. You could even use the, what do you call it, the description in the bottom of it to interest people. So like, don't waste space. Everything they see could be another reason they discard your content, right? Think about the way you consume content. You be scrolling. You're not paying attention to nobody. You scroll. It could be someone you fuck with. You might scroll past it. So it's not enough to know people. It's not even enough to make good content. You deadass have to have the whole package. You know what I'm saying? Like once they watch the video, it has to be a good video, but you also have to package it to make it look like a real video if you want people to stick around.
So when you making certain videos, you have to pay attention to the analytics to see how it's performing, to see what works better for you.
Yeah, that's true. We'll get into that a little bit more, but that does apply. Yes, you're correct. So this is like, to me,
Hey,
this
bro,
is
they're asking some
obvious,
banger
but
questions
there's a
in
chance
here.
that you might not already be doing it. So let's say you're in fashion, right? Let's say you're in gaming. There's really no planet you shouldn't be on TikTok. You could type in gaming. You could click the 3 dots. You can click filter. You can go by like count, and you can go this week or this month. If you don't know what's popping in your genre, in your field on TikTok in the last 2 weeks, you genuinely don't care about your job. That's what it feels like, because if this was any other context, you would pay attention. If you were an athlete, you would kind of.
Yo, I could name the trending games right now. We got, hold on, let me put my water bottle down. We got Mecha Chameleon. We got some Power World. I've been seeing hella Project Zomboid. Obviously Roblox, and dang, I can't even name 5. I can't even name 5, bro. Yeah, my fault. I lied, yeah.
Pay attention to the stuff you put in your body. If you're a streamer, you should pay attention to the content that's performing. This is part of the job. Yeah, can we quiet down, please? So if you haven't been doing it, make it a habit. In fact, what I like to do is I literally create a separate TikTok, a separate YouTube, where the only thing I do on it is research. So the algorithm specifically feeds me interesting, unique, creative stuff because that's the only thing I consume on it. So I don't watch my usual videos on there. I specifically use it just to see what's hitting, what's working. Not just for stuff in your bubble. Genuinely, you'll have so many bangers if you start looking at other bubbles. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting though. Like there are French streamers with 40,000 live viewers that you've never heard of. There are Spanish viewers with 50,000 live viewers you've never heard of. It's not that they're not big.
Not even that, bro. Millions of followers that I don't even know.
You guys are in this Stream University bubble.
Those guys are popping.
It's mad shit happening in the world. If you're not paying attention to all of it, you're missing out tremendously.
So, like, who are your favorite underrated streamers or creators that a lot of people don't know about, but that you're like, they're raw and they have a lot of potential?
Alyssa, I think she's fire over there. Suburbs hilarious.
Damn, getting called out while they in the
She
room.
didn't make it
Sure,
here.
I know she was giddy.
But she was really funny to me.
Okay, so not me. Okay.
Not me. Okay. Did you want me to say you? Okay. You're pretty great too. Yeah. Yeah, I love your content. Yeah.
Holy glaze.
All right. So I would like to say, there's a good. Okay. Certain things you can't learn without trying. It's facts, right? I mean, sure, somebody could tell it to you, but sometimes actually experiencing it hits harder. So the YouTube Shorts to YouTube videos is undefeated. First of all, YouTube Shorts is just the best way to get subs on YouTube, okay? And you might be saying, like, this is Stream University. Why are you talking about YouTube and short form so much? It is impossible to grow as a streamer, okay? I don't know if you noticed. You will not grow as a streamer by streaming more hours. In fact, you won't even grow as a streamer by making good content. You will only grow as a streamer if you're making good content and people can see it on all the platforms. You know what I'm saying?
That's just
So
called
it don't matter
advertising.
How funny your clip was today. If niggas not clipping it on
I like
Twitter
the way he phrased it,
and
though.
the TikTok's not sharing it, then, I mean, nobody saw it. Your audience saw it, but they're already watching you. You feel me? So get in the habit of trying to share some of the stuff that's happening, not just on stream. The grind is not just more hours on stream. This is very prehistoric
Word.
mindset, okay? The grind is having a moment and then finding ways to share it with everybody. So streaming, you essentially now are a content creator. You're not a streamer no more. It's a full-on content creator. What's that?
So how do you like do it as to like you said that people are in their own bubbles? How do you like get out of those bubbles? Like for instance, Speed, right? He has a big fan base because he gets out of his bubble. So how do you make it so you're out?
How do you get out of your bubble? You just have to make an effort to consume different types of content that you may not particularly be interested in. It could be in a different language, it could be in a different font, but you just have to make a serious effort to, you won't leave it by accident. If you let your algorithm, it'll keep you in that bubble because that's the stuff you like. You just have to start consuming different things. That'll be on you, low-key, to just, teach your algorithm a little bit.
Yeah.
I got a question.
What's that?
Why you think Kai only posts his shorts on YouTube but don't post them videos on Instagram Reels?
I think he's, I don't know. He's been talking about starting on Reels. Yeah, he's just been off for a while, focusing on other stuff. So, but just because somebody doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad strategy, it's kind of just
I
what
case
works for
of
you.
Red Bull back
Being
there is
everywhere
full as
on- for
heck,
the average
bro.
streamer works. I will also say,
There's not a
sometimes
single
things
Red Bull
apply to
missing
the
out of
biggest
there.
streamers that's not gonna apply to you.
And those are some good flavors
Like it
in there
might
too.
only work for them because they're them. You get what I'm saying? So like, take it with a grain of salt when you see a really, really big streamer doing something. It might not always work. It's worth trying stuff though, but it might not always work. Instagram Reels is OP. Are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like this case in the like, can some of the students take some of the Red Bulls out there so it's a little less full, and then we get like a re-up or something, bro?
Who's posting on Instagram Reels here? Wise, bro. If you are not, brother, how do I tell you, right?
It's a big deal.
Let me tell you how remember TikTok 3 years ago? That is Instagram Reels today. And especially if you have an existing audience on Instagram, it's crack.
Really go up faster.
Way faster. Not just on Instagram, but it just shares shit so well. Jeremiah. You can, it depends on your niche. I would say probably don't post more than 1 or 2 times. But there's some people that post 4 or 5 times. It just depends on your niche. Some niches a lot more acceptable to spam posts. Some niches you could deadass post the same video every week for like the rest of the year.
So you be reposting your own content?
What niche is that?
You can. You can. Like if enough time passes and a clip hit, I already post it.
That's my question. When I post on TikTok, they flag my content for unoriginal content. If it gets clipped, my clipper send me the clip, and I have to appeal it sometimes.
Okay, I will say, so all the social platforms don't like clipping culture. It's true, okay? And there is probably going to get
I like how
nerfed at
inside
some
the
point,
chat they're
most
trying to
likely.
snitch on
They
people who aren't
consider it
paying
unoriginal
attention.
because it is technically not an original piece
Meanwhile,
of content.
Agent
The
doesn't
original
have a
piece of content
phone
is happening on
insight,
stream.
bro. He just teaching.
No, I understand that, but it's still not original. Like you did it somewhere else. You're just repurposing it. So we don't know how long this meta is going to exist for. But while it's here, you might as well take full advantage of it. You know, this is a crazy level of late.
Damn, how long? 19, damn near 20 minutes late. God damn.
We just had the same class like 2 minutes away. I know.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing, gang. I'm already knowing.
AJ, I had a question.
What's that?
You got like a different editor for like your gaming content style clips versus like your
Yes, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, so this is like a good concept.
Dang,
that
bro,
I
he
think
got everything
everybody deserves
prepared.
to understand. A lot of people think the clip hit because it got views. All right, who here has had a clip that went viral and then nothing happened because of it? All right, this is common. It didn't result in anything. Like it was a moment, then it passed. You know what I'm saying?
like it went viral and you ain't make no money from it?
Money, like it didn't transition to no views on the socials. I want you to pay attention to this and let me know what you notice.
Entire stream room into a big ball pit. It was a lot of fun. But I left the house for a couple hours and balls have been pouring out the entire time. And you might think to yourself, like, how bad could it possibly be, Agent? It can't
Yo,
be that
the
fucking
entire
bad.
floor is
100,000
covered.
balls can't be that bad, right? King.
Yo, they sealed that junk like a tomb.
Chris.
How did they even clean
Nah,
that
at the
all
time, he wasn't
out?
camera, he was doing something else. But if you notice in that clip, your first thought is gonna be like, damn. Well, first of all, your first thought is Kai's gonna be mad. But then the second thought is gonna be, well, he does something.
was not
that's
my
a pretty
first
crazy
thought.
thing to do on stream. You know what I'm saying? The clip is actually useful to you if it makes people think I should show up to the stream. Oh, there's some cool things that happen on that stream. If you collect enough of those, they will genuinely start to show up to more of those streams. Here's a second example of the same thing. Is it gonna let me click this X today? So you're gonna watch this clip and you're gonna think to yourself, oh, he's doing a 48-hour stream.
Was that on a
Maybe
pulley
I should tune
system?
into it. So your clip should naturally make
It
people
looks like it, 'cause you have to, like,
wanna
weigh
come
it
to the
down.
content. You know what I'm saying? In fact, usually before I do a marathon, I'll at least do some sort of simple TikTok saying like, yo, I'm surviving in the Amazon for 48 hours.
Ian's a really good teacher. He hasn't stuttered once.
So
Shoot,
point
I just
is
stuttered
the
and
clips
I'm just
can get
watching.
views, that's cool. But the clip should get views and make people think, damn, I should show up to this. You know what I'm saying? So if your clip got views and it makes people think this guy's a asshole, then it didn't do you much good. In fact, it probably did you some harm. There's gonna be some mad people on Twitter and shit that just think you're a way that you're probably not. All right.
I got a question.
Okay.
I feel like I've grown at least 6 clipping pages. I know how to do it crazy good. I can get good views for all these captions.
Yeah.
Why do you think, I feel like for me personally, and I heard a lot of people, why do you think when it comes to like Twitch,
Yo, let's hear a question.
why do you think when it comes to Twitch specifically, it is so hard to grow? Because I can get millions of views and understand the algorithm on all the platforms because I mastered that. But to actually get them over, I mastered the everything that you said, but it's hard to get them over because I feel like Twitch doesn't push you out. You have to collab. So the clips to me from
Oh, can you see some clips of hers?
translate.
She keeps saying that she mastered it.
We could talk about the actor because being able, that's a very D's topic. But some of these concepts will help.
Can
Being
you
able to
really
apply short form
master
and then
something like
what we'll talk
that?
about a little
If you
later,
can,
these
that's
will
pretty
help, okay?
interesting.
All right, when it comes to understanding content, this is gonna sound like the simplest thing you heard today, but on God, half the room's not doing it. Okay? A lot of people have the balls to do this part right here. You hit the live button. All right? And that's actually a big first step. A lot of people think about it, they actually don't hit the live button. But then after that, a lot of people skip this part. They fill it out, but they don't actually look. They don't actually see what the chat was saying. They don't see what the numbers was doing. They don't actually analyze the content to see if it performed. But sometimes they do. And then they still don't do this part, which is make the actual adjustment. What this looks like is...
All right, so how do you analyze the content if you're not getting any? Actually, no, that's a... Nah. How do you analyze the content if you're not getting anyone to critique your content is a thing, though. I mean, I guess you could go in there and you could self-critique, but then there's only so much you can self-critique on. You would need somebody else to look in there, or you could just take the metrics as like a big slap to the face and be like, oh, this isn't performing well at all. Or maybe the algorithm just hasn't made it hit yet. Who knows? Hey. So it's a big thing to think about for surely.
Do we have any gamers in here that do gaming content? Right? Let's say you playing Valorant. All right, boom, you did the content, you analyze the content. Your stream doesn't like Valorant, okay? Maybe it's falling off, just watch now, we don't know, okay? You actually
everyone's
aren't
example
making
Valorant?
the adjustment. I've seen it so many times where it's like people are sabotaging themselves
Ooh,
because
that
there's something
screen
they
is
want to
flickering.
do, and it's technically not in line with what their chat wants to see. You streaming. At the end of the day, when you stream, you either entertain or inform. So if you're an informative nigga, then you could, spew the knowledge, share, help people. But if you're an entertainer, you actually genuinely have to entertain. If you're doing something niggas
Make
don't
sure
want
you
to see,
hydrate.
you're not entertaining. You're
I've been
actually
drinking
just
hella water.
selfishly entertaining yourself. But which is okay if you don't care about growth. But if we're here to talk about growth and you want to grow, it has to look like this and genuinely making that adjustment.
So what would that adjustment look like?
Like not doing Valorant. Like trying something else. You have to explore. While things are going well, you have to explore so that if things don't go well with that anymore, you adjust. I used to be in the 2K community. I knew what it was like to rely specifically on one game. It sucked. If the game was ass, what happened? Views were down. Nobody cared. It didn't matter how much they liked me. They wasn't going to watch content for a game they didn't care about. You know what I'm saying? You learn that lesson the hard way, and then once you get the momentum back again, now you start AMP. Now you start doing different types of content. You have to learn from these situations.
Okay, so I kind of have that problem right now. Like, I feel like I'm stuck in one game.
Okay.
So did you just, like, experiment and just do other games that were popular? Or, like, what kind of things did you do? Did you do things that were like just trending?
Yeah, so if you want to do games that you think have the same audience as that one, and try and create some appeal into that game. Okay. So what game do you play?
Marvel Rivals.
So you maybe like, I mean, Overwatch would be a shitty game to go to, but essentially.
Yeah, bro, she could probably try out some like Minecraft.
You want to find a game that has a similar audience and try and create the most high appeal stuff you can lead with to make people think like, hey, this is not so bad.
Would you do like multiple games
Maybe Minecraft.
Explore, like what Jinxie did was a really good example. We'll talk about it in a second. Where he did Rainbow Six nonstop, right? But now he could do kind of do whatever he wants. He didn't start that way. Like he experimented a little bit with certain games that had similar.
Is he still on bronze?
And then he was able to now he's so varied he could play any game and it's gonna pull. So it's a little bit of strategy to it. But a lot of what's gonna work for that is being able to see what other people did. Back when I was making 2K content, there was a few people that pivoted away from 2K content. And I studied the out of that. Like I was on their page, like he dropped this video, then he dropped this video, and then he went over there and did that. Feel me? But that informed me. So most of the time, the stuff you're doing, people done it before. Okay. Follow the blueprint. All right. Speaking about that, who here is not in a niche? You just do whatever, whenever. Okay. All right.
No, I mean like.
So I will say, the people that are in a niche, you have a higher likelihood to grow faster. There's other variables that can matter, but being in a niche helps a lot because it makes your content definable. When people look at you, they want to think, what's Suburb Baby content about? If they can't put a word on what his content's about, they're gonna struggle to with that content, straight up. When you can identify what something is, it's easier to identify with it. Like, if I say Easy's a really nice person, I like watching streamers that give me a good vibe, now I know that's the type of content that I like. You have to be identifiable.
He's pulling out these examples like it's in like the clouds.
It
He's
genuinely
like,
helps. Let me give you some examples. Jinxie, we talked a little bit about him a second ago.
It's really impressive.
He grew exclusively on Rainbow Six. He wouldn't touch another fucking game, right? Now he can play whatever game he wants. He could have went IRL. He could have did a whole lot of shit. He wasn't into that. Dashie is another good example. I don't know how many OGs here know Dashie. He's one of my favorite content creators. Before he ever had a gaming channel, he had a voiceover skit channel. And he dominated. He had millions of subscribers. It wasn't until he dominated that field, he pivoted to something else. You'll see a lot in entertainment. 50 Cent dominate music, right? Then he's like, oh, what do I want to do next? I'm bored. Now he goes into film. He dominates film. Now you can do next. Be transitioning out of the niche before you conquered it. You can, but there's going to be a trough where things look a little ugly. You know, money slow down, views slow down. You could do that. I've seen it happen. Ron is a good example, right? Where Ron had a dip, but then he was good enough to where he was able to bring it back. And now, like, I saw him at 110,000 people at 4 a.m. yesterday. So it doesn't mean you can't pivot out of niches. Sometimes niches scare people because you think, oh, I'm a creative soul. I don't want to do one thing. I don't want to be in a box.
And that's like the research that he
does. Just so you know, even when you don't think you're in a box,
at 4 a.m.
you just happen to be in a big box. Everybody's in a box. Duke and Speed, good examples of two NBA 2K content creators that grew to the peaks in their games before they transitioned and did other stuff. Duke doing lifestyle stuff, and Speed obviously doing the IRL streaming.
I did not know Speed played 2K.
Okay, this is like pretty practical. The biggest streamers are doing it, and it's not a secret. The guy that's synonymous with YouTube is streaming on Twitch. The guy that's synonymous with Twitch is now streaming on YouTube. It's not an accident. Like, they're watching what's happening and they're making adjustments. Streaming exclusively to a platform that's not paying you is just like, that's kind of like only playing on PlayStation, but you could afford an Xbox and a PC. Like, you can, but you're gonna miss out on some stuff. So you might as well stream on all of it. We're on YouTube and Twitch right now.
But how can I do Twitch and TikTok? Because TikTok.
You can do that too. A lot of people do that too.
Like on this.
Yeah. It's just like the issue with TikTok is if you say nigga one time, you're out of there. Yeah. So that's, for me, it's like, yeah. Nah, they fry you. Yeah. Kai's niche? Early days, Kai did a lot of prank content, ding dong ditches and stuff like that. He was on campus. He was doing a lot of like datey type of style content. Then he was.
Yeah, he was running into people's apartments and kicking their doors, bro.
Kai's a little bit of a.
I think I remember watching that a little bit in middle school.
Yes.
I switched my niche fully.
That's good. And you.
I used to be in hot tubs with girls, I was like slapping ass.
Yo, quiet down. Everybody listen to him.
I always raise girls, mad bitches, slapping ass. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Damn.
We don't call girls out.
Hey, bro.
No, he's good.
Whatever gets the bills paid,
He's not talking to
bro.
you, though.
Yeah, I switched to all dude content and I chill with the bros.
Pause.
All right. In this stage, if you have under 250,000 followers, it's gonna be tempting to
The
stream
delivery
more,
on that was
to come up with stream
that
ideas.
was funny.
I promise, you need more short form ideas. This is what your day should look like. You should genuinely be spending 60% of your day on short form. This is not an exaggeration. This is not shock value. In fact, it might be a understatement. I would dedicate maybe 40% of your time to streaming, 60% of your time to shorts. If you don't have a shorts person, that's okay. Make them yourself.
Is that clips?
Yes, yes, shorts, TikTok, IG Reels, all that, yes. It could be whatever, as long as people post it. Yeah, because shorts barely make any money anyway. All right, so this is, okay, I'm gonna do this for every stage just so you guys get a sense, because I know hiring is like a little bit of like nobody talks about it. But this is what my team looks like. So I have an operations guy. Yeah, he's in the tone suit. We got creative and camera, Marcus, but he's club director. Operations like get shit done. You know what I'm saying? So like, yo, we actually needed the stand built.
He's a risk taker.
We need this for stream. We have this idea. Let's pull this off. He's the one that makes ideas. Like he gets the physical things to make the ideas happen.
Bro.
Right? Tech. Who does like a lot of IRL streams primarily? All right, there's a world where you might eventually need a tech person. Like if you start going to Amazon to survive and you have all these sets you want to create and you have all these segments, there's a world where it might be helpful to have a tech person, but not at this stage. A manager, this is the person, manager or agent, they want to get you deals. They help you with stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like from time to time, day-to-day things as well. Assistant, I know it sounds like assistant is like a luxury, but if you're making like over $1 million a year, I don't know how many people here, I don't want to pocket watch everybody, but there's a
what a weird thing to drop.
You will hire an assistant and you will go, oh my God, I've saved myself so much time. What are you gonna do with that time? Put it back into the content. But so you're making way more than you're paying an assistant because you freed up your time. So assistants, I know it seems like an extra, but genuinely is probably one of the more
Just
functional
freeing
roles,
up capital.
but not yet. A channel manager / editor, they can help with shorts,
That's
but
tough.
primarily these are people running your YouTube channel. You don't necessarily need that yet. Shorts, this is actually the main thing I would suggest. If you do have some extra bread, and you're looking to grow as a streamer, this is the main thing I would try to invest in, okay? And then accountants and lawyers, once you get to a point, people sue you for everything. So you might potentially need one, but not at this stage.
God damn.
So next stage. This is like a little bit of the middle ground. In this stage, YouTube is the game. If you do not start doing YouTube, I promise, once you become a bigger content creator, you'll be like, I have no YouTube presence. I'm an idiot for not starting earlier. So this is the point where every time you do a stream, you're not just thinking clips, you're thinking, hold on, what's the video?
Dang. What a transition. This one on the right looks more Game of Thrones-esque. I kind of rock with this one on the right. And then it shows the degrees. It has like the cooldown like colors to really emphasize it, even though it's pure white over there. That is some good exaggeration. It catches your attention really hard. Plus he's looking into the camera. So it looks like he's looking at you. It kind of also looks like they put a little bit of coloring on his face and made his eyes bigger so that he really captures your attention more than anything on the screen. And the secondary thing that probably catches your attention is probably the degrees on the side. And then next is the fire right next to him, even though he doesn't have a fire on that one over there.
Video, what's the thumbnail and title gonna look like?
I'm already learning some stuff.
How am I gonna post it? Feel me? And this is gonna be a big part of your distribution. One thing you'll learn once you get good at YouTube, YouTube's ceiling is significantly higher than every other platform by a long shot. Like I want to talk about it. If you want to be a huge content creator and you're not on YouTube, you're not that big. It's just that simple. Even if you look at Kai before he started co-streaming, his Kaizenat Live channel is pulling millions of views per video. All of the biggest streamers have huge YouTube presences. That's not an accident. So not only does it have the highest ceiling, you stand to make the most money from long-form content. Your appeal is a lot more global. In Twitch, Kick, and even YouTube streaming culture, it's very bubbly, right? Your audience is gonna be people that's American, maybe speak English, maybe potentially more black. But on YouTube, it's like everybody watches it, everybody. And when I meet people that I'm like, damn, I wouldn't have expected you to watch my content, they actually don't watch the streams, they usually watch the YouTube, okay? And the good thing about YouTube is there's no end.
Yo, he is
it
not.
Can eat 24/7. You go to sleep, you wake up, the video got more views. So when you create content that's evergreen, you're not just winning while you're live. It's just winning 24/7.
If he's knocked like that, I know that AC in there feels
so
good.
I want to give you an example. If you guys have a Ludwig class at some point, please block in. This is no troll, one of the best executors of YouTube content. I want you guys to really lock in. I'm going to try and analyze the first minute of this video.
Him and Joe Bartolozzi. And Sea Dog. Oh my god. Sea Dog hooks are really good at the beginning of his videos. They just take a while to come out. I'm not gonna lie.
Magic Chameleon only came out a few weeks ago. In fact, it's more than Street Fighter 6 has done in 3 years, and it's more people than subscribers I have, and that's a free button to press that I want you to press now. But it got me thinking. It's a lot of fun to play with your friends and pick a cringe spot if you want to win, or maybe just do a funny spot that usually doesn't end up working out. But what if you had actual professionals, aka artists? How would they do? To find out, I employed the help of my good friend Squeaks to be static hunters, and we would chase down.
If you go,
How long was that? That was like,
okay,
it
so I
moved
will.
like
If you
really
look at YouTube,
fast.
there's probably not a single video.
Even
that
though it's
anybody
probably
has
like
done. He's just
15
the best
seconds worth of
executor I know.
stuff.
And the crazy part is like Ludwig is not like a Kai Cenat speed. Like obviously no disrespect, but he's pulling numbers like them on YouTube. This is not an accident. That's a gaming video. He could have just started with the start of the game. Instead, he did this whole post commentary. He played music in the background. He was cutting, zooming to things. You're visually stimulated. But then the words he's saying is hooking you. What do you mean I'm playing with professional artists? That's just a good concept. Not only did he get the good concept, the thumbnail and the title, the packaging is good. Once you click on it, he's hooking you. So you're like, damn, not only did he give me context in case I don't know what the game is, but now I'm hooked. I want to know what the best people do. He's visually showing the painting. It's like maximum stimulation, and then there's going to be the release where the game starts, but now you're hooked. You get what I'm saying? So when you want to look at mastering YouTube, mastering hooks in long form, I genuinely don't know if there's a better person than Ludwig to do that. And then here are some examples of good thumbnails. So, dumbest spots in Mecha Chameleon. Simple title, you know, a circle and an arrow. It can't be that hard. But when you put yourselves in the audience shoes, you're scrolling through, you're gonna be like, where? I don't see anything. Boom, that's it. Where? I don't see anything. Let me click the video. That looks like a crazy spot, right? This is the Ash Out video. Ash is one of my favorite YouTubers and now streamers. And this is one of his funniest videos. I took a racist to the most dangerous hood in America. And not only was the content phenomenal, it was like a double prank where like he was frying people. It was like a really, really good video. But on top of that, this guy looks petrified and he's surrounded by people that you can make context of are in the hood. It's just a good video. So you should be looking when you're watching streams, when you're watching YouTube videos, don't just click the thumbnail. What about the thumbnail made you want to click it? If you're not asking yourself that question, you actually are just zombie consuming content. You actually haven't learned nothing. You know what I'm saying?
So basically what he's saying is look at the thumbnail and observe it, study it, break it down, and what makes it as good as it is, and then take that for yourself. Be like, you can be like a Crollo from Hunter x Hunter. You're just going in there, snatching information without the limitations that his skill hunter has. You're just snatching everything out of everyone's bags and putting it inside your own bag so that you improve yourself overall. Taking what they worked on, taking what they worked so hard on, and then using it to build yourself up. That's pretty good.
Like, who here has a passion outside of streaming? Like, what's your passion?
I like to read.
Read. And music. Sometimes when you're listening to music, do you feel like, oh my God,
Those
I
two
wish
go
you
really
would've
well
done it
together.
like this.
It's like
Or
a
you think about why did you
synchro.
do it in that note? Because
you can do both at the same
You're a
time.
student of music. If you're watching film, now you want to analyze the lighting and why they frame it like that. And oh, who did the score and the music? If you're not thinking like that as a streamer, is it really a passion? I'm telling you. Like, you should be looking at it and be like, damn, he went crazy, she went crazy. What made that so appealing to me? You will learn so much by simply asking that question.
For your YouTube video, for your YouTube channel, you think it's a better play to have like highly edited videos like on some like Ludwig stuff from your streams? Or like
If it's peak content and you could afford it, I would say yes. You don't have to do it for every video.
for the one where you was outside in the
We didn't do that, no. No, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I use the Ludwig example. I could do better. Yeah.
So if you hired an editor,
Then I would have them arrange it in a way. But it doesn't have to look that crazy. Sometimes it could just be a cliffhanger, right? Of like the most interesting part that complements the title and the thumbnail, and then the video starts. It don't have to be crazy, well edited like that, but take those steps in that direction. It's gonna help a lot.
He wants me to tell you it's 11:14.
Okay, all right. All right, in this stage, you might want a manager. You're gonna start getting certain brand deals, certain opportunities. You get to that point, 250 to 750. Yo, can we quiet down, please? This is 250 to 750,000 followers.
This lecture itself is kind of like him exercising his ability to keep people's attention. Because at the beginning of the video, people weren't really talking, but now that we are about 38 minutes in, people are kind of drifting off, showing how people's attention spans kind of like break if we go on too long. So this is actually a really good show of his like ability to keep your attention, especially in real life. No editing, no nothing.
Yes.
That's probably why he's not stuttering or anything. He might have jotted down what he wanted to go over, and he's just like, rambling, going through, not a single moment of dead air.
So
it's pretty cool.
You might want a channel editor. This is someone that's going to manage your YouTube channel. So you can give them pointers, post this content today. My editor, no, he knows he posts this as soon as humanly possible on the YouTube. So not only do the stream get the content, you know what I'm saying, might be a clip that comes from it, but then we're going to post it on YouTube and it's most likely going to perform well on there.
So how do I save for a new streamer like myself? Once I end the stream, how do I save the video?
Yeah, it's like it's a VOD on your channel. So, and if you're using IRL Toolkit, they'll save it in the cloud over there too. And then when it comes to how you spend your time, okay, you're still spending a large portion of your time using shorts and streaming, but now you want to spend time making things happen, operations, coming up with segments, thinking of things that are higher appeal, more interesting, right? You want to spend 5% of your time on business, reaching out to brands, building relationships. This is stuff that we're going to get into a little bit later. It's going to fund some of the stuff you do. And then also you want to be spending a good amount on long form. But if you have a channel manager, you won't have to spend too much in this area. If you don't have a channel manager, it might look a little bit thicker. Okay, and now we're getting to the 750 to 1 million range. Okay, all right, in this range, congratulations. You can finally stream more, okay? Which might always be a good thing. Sometimes you don't want to be a volume streamer doing 12 hours a day. It's a burnout. But
yeah,
in this, if you want to think to yourself, what,
unless you're making bread off it already.
Like, in this context, let's use Lacey for an example. Lacey has a channel manager. He has editors, he has managers, he has all that stuff. There's really no reason why he can't maximize his time streaming here and even after here. So like as a really big streamer, it makes sense to dive more of your time into streaming. That's gonna result in more clips, that's gonna result in more revenue, that's gonna result in a better connection with your community. But I wouldn't pre this before you did all the other stuff. Building the community exclusively on them streaming platforms is very, very challenging. So if the goal is growth, spending time off platform first is the best way to do it. All right, couple fun facts. We talked about it earlier. Co-stream everything, please, for the love of God. If you guys want to reach out to a certain content creator, Instagram is actually the best way to do that. On your story, at them, it shows up in their notifications, and most of the content creators I know look through that. So even if, and you'll see it, they'll be in your views. So like if there's something you want to say to someone else,
like collaborate,
but like
okay.
that's probably, if I knew like there's one way I want to reach somebody, I literally put up a story and then at somebody. You can literally privately do it too, so they're the only ones that see it. But if you want to specifically make sure someone specifically sees something, that's the best way to do it. Twitch stories are very underrated. I actually don't use them. Kai, the one that told me this last week. And he used them for every stream. You know what I'm saying? If there's a stream he wants to hype up, Twitch stories send a notification to your Twitch followers. So now they know when the stream is going to happen. That's elite. Instagram communities, super underrated, especially if your community is already on Instagram. I know Twitter comms are leaving soon, so if you're looking for an alternative, I made an Instagram community. I personally couldn't be bothered with Reddit or Discord. And the more you study, the more you win. I promise. If you are not studying, you will win less. This is facts. You can be the most entertaining person in the room. But if you are not paying attention and studying the content that's performing on your channel and on others, you will be limiting yourself. This is factual. In this section, you want to spend a large percentage of, yo, can we quiet down, please? In this section, you want to spend a larger percentage of time on strategy.
Drifting again.
What direction are we headed? What's some fire shit I can do for the summer? What's the rollout going to be like? You know what I'm saying? You want to spend a large portion of your time streaming. The streaming is the top funnel. You go live, the clips eat on socials, you post it on the YouTube. The more you stream, the more content gets disseminated everywhere. You want to spend a good amount on the business side. Ideally, you don't have to do too much because you got managers and agents and things of that nature. And then 10% is now managing. You have a team. You actually have to manage people, and you can arrange your team however you want. It genuinely really depends on the type of content you do. My content is really variety. We do some IRL, some gaming. We do a little bit of everything. So this is the layout that I found was compact enough to where like, it's not too much people, because then you got to travel with everybody and stuff like that. But it's...
Yo, it is like really thundering outside. Like super thundering, bro.
It's like you're not bottlenecked. I don't have to think to myself,
this weather is messing us up, man.
You know what I'm saying? So the teams are super specific to the content that you do. There's no ideal formula. I would always recommend, if you know a bigger streamer, ask them. Before I made a hire, I called Ludwig. Yo, Ludwig, what you think about this? Yo, Kai, what you think about this? Phantom, what you think about this? Because everybody has a different formation. You want to see which formation might make sense for you.
I got a question. So, as you can tell, you have all those members on the team. Do you have them specifically work on that task, or is it like a team thing where
it's team?
I'm not gonna lie. People's appearance being their brand is kind of underrated because just off his voice and the back of his head, you can tell that's Canal. That is like really crazy, isn't it? Like that's something you don't really think about a lot.
Everybody helps everybody.
Is that Canal?
Can you say that again?
Everybody helps everybody.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, if someone only does one thing, they're a little useless.
Okay.
Yeah, like today, for example, my channel manager is doing some clips.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
In the amount of water.
Like everybody helps everybody.
I also believe that like.
You talking to him?
No.
Okay.
He's the GOAT.
Okay.
But I would just say like I personally tell people that it's also good to know a little bit of certain other people's jobs just in case like we have multiple.
100%. Yes. He's not even a cameraman. He used to run operations. So, but he could also run camera.
So where you find these people?
Those are the cross training skills.
Usually for me.
Cross
I'll
skills.
ask people.
God
How long do
damn.
you think you go through trial and error finding somebody that's like good? Because like people can say they do things, but work ethic is kind of like consistency is like really important.
We could talk about that off stream because it's a little tough. Okay, let me give you an example. All right, as you grow in streaming, you're gonna want to take certain risks. And now we're talking a little bit about money, so I need everyone to pay attention. I know money sounds like the thing you do to get Ferraris, but this is not true. Money is the thing that's gonna make your ideas come to life. Some of you guys have some really big ideas, some things you want to try, but you can't pull the trigger. Why? Because it's a huge risk. Certain risks are worth taking, others aren't. I'm gonna give you two examples. This is a risk that had paid off for me. So, first time I went to the Arctic, first of all, I bet my chat that I could survive in the Arctic. They said, no, you can't. I said, all right, bet.
That was great.
Yeah, I booked a trip, and I knew I was probably gonna lose money. Across flights, the north is super expensive, et cetera, et cetera. We'll get into the expenses, but it made some money though. On the YouTube, the video actually performed really well, so I was able to get almost $7,000. And then the actual Twitch stream of it got $17,000, which sounds good.
Damn.
A couple interesting factors though. 2 years ago, this number would have said 50,000. So ads are down, and it's not because I'm running less ads. It's just that's the nature of Twitch. Twitch doesn't currently have a system where they could have higher CPMs and lower CPMs like YouTube. So overall, ads are just lower than they are. I know that going into it. That's part of the risk. So I'm making anything from like what $24,000 on this. All I had to do is not spend $24,000, and I at least don't lose money on the idea I'm really passionate about.
This is from one stream?
Yes. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
so
Watching
between
him,
the hotels, flights.
watching him fumble with the board is kind of funny because they have like little remotes where they can just like literally just point at the screen and then click it off to the next part. You can also get like a little laser pointer on it too, which would be pretty cool. Hey, bro, maybe next year.
Clothing, car rentals, and camping supplies. Luckily, on that day I made money. Now, we're not accounting for obviously like staff expenses and stuff like that and how much time we dedicated. We could have spent on anything else, opportunity costs. This is just what we spent. On this opportunity, for me, it's okay to lose money if it's going to get
Hold up. Go
on
back.
this.
Let's look at this real quick. Let me set up. 2,400 for the hotel. What was that like for the whole everybody? Was that for the staff as well, or was that just you? Cause god damn, that's a lot. 3,000 for the flights. 4,500 for the clothes. I mean, I guess you got to get the good stuff to be able to survive out there. Car rental, 400. That's like the cheapest thing on there, surprisingly. Camping supplies. You know, he did net like what, like $7,000? He netted like 7,000, no?
Opportunity
So,
for me.
that was
It's
pretty
okay
worth
to
it for
lose
him.
money if it's going to get eyes in your direction. For me, the Arctic was a solo thing I tried that I genuinely believed in. I really wanted to challenge myself.
And
some
it's
people
still
lost money,
growing
lost
'cause he
money,
has it on
but let me try my
YouTube.
best to maximize.
So he's
okay?
netting more
We're
right
gonna
now.
talk a little bit about the best way to do that.
Especially
in a second,
after,
but
oh
this
my
is not-
god, he's a genius because he just advertised that video to other people for it. So if you had like a interest in it, and you're just like, man, where do I find a video like that? He just advertised it right here. You're watching it by chance, just like that. He caught your attention. You went over to that video, probably left the stream, and boom, he's making more.
Opportunity that worked out. Let me give you an example of opportunity that did not work out. So this time I'm co-streaming. I make $2,000 off the YouTube. I'm making $3,000 off the video. So this is the stream, this is the video, and I'm making $16,000 off the Twitch. It's not a bad shout, but this time we're not in the Arctic, we're in the Amazon. Things are a lot more expensive and a lot more remote. And the expenses looked a little bit different. So this is an example of a bet that financially didn't pay off, but content-wise went ballistics. Okay. These are worth doing. If you can afford to eat it, these are worth doing. And you might be asking yourself the question of, okay, how can we reduce the risk of doing some of these big events? Boom, ads, but not the ones you see on Twitch and YouTube, the sponsors that people pay for. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Who here reached out to brands before coming to Stream University? 8 people. I was talking to Malik. She showed me she messaged 50 brands. Half of them responded. I'm talking like Target responded.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? You're at Stream
I thought they were like
University.
little brands,
This is
but
the talk
Target?
of the town. You know what I'm saying? You not reaching
That's
out to
smart.
Samsung and DJI and Fortnite to see if potentially they might be interested in supporting something you want to do. So I literally reached out to all the brands that I know, and Fortnite came back and said they want to do something to help some students. So we will actually be finding 2 streamers that have not had a brand deal before to do their first brand deal with me a little bit later today. Okay?
Now everybody's attention. People are just oh my god. Pause it real quick. People were just rambling off to the side to their little friends or whatever, and now when they hear Fortnite is trying to offer them a brand deal, now everyone's attention is back on the board.
I could have said nothing. I could have not asked. Well, you know, we're thinking, okay, agent, well, you know some brands, so that doesn't count. You've done 10 epic deals.
Shout out to Agent for that though. He really didn't have to do that, but shout out to him.
Deals before, so that's a little bit of a cheat code. This is true, but
he probably could have just took it for
let
themselves.
me give you some examples on how to get some of these brand deals, and then I'm gonna walk you through how I'm gonna execute the Fortnite one, and we're gonna pick some students to do it before we end class here today. Okay? So back when I was a wee little lad and I haven't blown up on YouTube, there was a website called FameBit. It's like
I'm not gonna lie, the way he executed that line, oh my god. It reminded me of the girl on TikTok that goes like, when I was 16 in the Bronx, and she plays Murder Mystery on Roblox, bro. It gave me like trauma. I don't know why.
You had to apply for ads. I think
it
the
gave
Stream
me
Elements has it
genuine
now.
fear.
FameBit got bought by YouTube. Now it's called YouTube Brand Connect. If you guys are on YouTube, you probably heard of it through there. Brand Connect. So it's YouTube's platform where you could apply for ads. Essentially, if I wanted money, I would see a scale on the website. I'll say, I want to advertise this scale. This is how I'm going to do it. I send them a little paragraph or 2. This is pre-AI, so you have to know how to write. And then you send submit, and you get a brand deal. I just reached out. At the time, I was broke. I was looking for anything. $250 to sell a scale to 10,000 people, I'll do that, gang. All right? I need some bread. I was broke on campus at the time. That's just reaching out. The second thing, have you tried asking them?
True hustler.
No, seriously, though. You are completely underestimating how much. I have talked to brands that have literally told me, we only work with the biggest streamers. I've talked to brands where they said we only work with the smallest creators. We like doing small deals. We don't want to do anything too big. If you are not asking, you are selling yourself short. Third is management. You'll get a lot of inbound deals, right? For me,
that's also something you could research too. You could look at what smaller creators, if you know any smaller creators, are getting brand deals, and you could probably try to mooch off that and be like, yo, I could hit this brand up. Because this person, and we have a similar amount of following and a similar amount of pull, I could definitely hit that rando after this. Oh my god. You see, he taught me a skill, and I'm using it during this video as I'm watching still.
There's a lot of deals
Is that not
that come
crazy?
in. Honestly, Epic
Like,
is
I'm
a lot
just
of them.
breaking
They're
down
like, they'll
everything
reach
now,
out to
and I'm just
your
watching.
management and say, do you have any gamers in your roster that are interested in doing this brand deal? So if you can find some good management, it's a whole separate conversation. You will get some brand deals through that. Develop relationships. I had a brand deal a month ago where all I had to do was show them that I actually use a product. I pulled the laptop out. I was like, I use this. It got me a second brand deal. Building relationships. Once you do a brand deal, chopping it up with the people that's there.
Nutty.
You know, saying hi, telling them some of your ideas, getting to know them a little bit. This is how you spin back. You don't want to be one and done type of guy, okay? And then obviously proof of concept. Stream University, it had like some big support from brands, stuff like that last year.
It's like Gamer
Did you see that page where he showed all the brands this year? He proved it worked. So even though it's Kai Cenat, one of the biggest streamers, and this is one of his biggest ideas, he still had to prove, even Kai had to prove his idea worked before our brands were willing to jump in and help. And now that they know it works and they love the concept of it, Exactly. So this also means like if you have a big idea, sometimes you got to bite the bullet and go to the Amazon.
Loki, what are the sponsors for this year's Streamer You? I mean, obviously there's Fortnite because Agent just pulled that up. But I don't know if that's like for the whole thing or just for Agent. Who knows, man?
And
obviously the two
$20,000
students that
because
you
next
picked.
time you might be able to make some money on it. Okay, so I will say, and I'm going to use the Fortnite example to kind of walk you guys
cameraman,
through
put
what
it on
you
the
should and
board.
shouldn't do.
Please.
I'm even going to show you the brief if you guys haven't
Trying
seen
to
it before
learn.
on like what they'll usually send you and what the communication looks like. The first question you do when you get a brand deal, please ask this question, please. What would be a successful integration for you? If you do not know what they want, you will struggle to do a successful one. This is just facts. So the first question I asked Fortnite, yo, what looks good to y'all? Well, like, what would you like to see happen? And they're trying to promote the sprites. So, I mean, they're all around campus and stuff like that. Okay, boom. They want to focus on sprites. What about the sprites? Oh, the fact that you could trade them, the fact that you could own them, they're permanent now. It's a new season. Each one has different things. Some of them are really rare, hard to get. Okay, cool. I'm learning all this. I'm farming information. Because when the brands trust you, they're going to let you cook on your stream. They're going to pay you to just creatively integrate it into the content that you're making already.
This is an ad for them.
Correct. And the ad I do with the two students later will
she
be
using
the
the
actual
skills
ad for them.
too. She using the skills too.
But like, if they don't trust you because you've never done it before, sometimes it's harder to get that. Has anybody worked with a brand that was a little bit like, you know, they wasn't
turned
let
a
you do what you
lecture
wanted
into
to
an
do, they wanted to do it their
advertisement.
way?
That's
It sucks
crazy.
sometimes. It happens. It happens to me. It happens to everybody. It's not a good experience.
Bro, there's layers to this too, because he turned this into an advertisement and the people inside there are also streaming, so whatever pull they got to is going straight into his junk too. Oh my god. There's levels to this junk, bro. This was the perfect time to do that.
But when you can find brands that trust you to just cook up. You feel me? And don't
He
sell,
basically
bro.
has the
So when you
entire
sell, they gonna
poll
look at me next
in
time
this
like I'ma
one
sell.
room directed at his
Because they know, like,
ad.
y'all streamers, they don't do brand deals well. So when you do a good
He's
brand deal,
definitely
you put
gonna
on for
get another
everybody else.
sponsorship
You make
from
them
this.
way more likely to spread the wealth upon anybody else. So you want to ask that first question. Then you want to ask a second question. What are the talking points? This is important because sometimes it's going to be hard to fit the talking points into the thing you're doing. And if that is the case, it's cool to say no. So I'm going to show you an example of the deliverables in the brief, and I'm going to walk you through, like, this is what the brands will send you when you get a brand deal. What I like to do is I put it on a side monitor. You know what I'm saying? You'll have the talking points and you'll have all the facts. The first thing they're going to do is explain the thing that they're promoting. If it's a game like Epic, Fortnite, it's going to be a new season. New season, new fun stuff. This the fun stuff. Look, they got sprites. What do? All right, well, they're rare and they got this, and we're going to have them all across campus. But for this, you're going to give away a couple brand deals. Okay, that's awesome. Where can you get them? They're going to tell you where you get them. I cannot explain this enough, guys. If you do not understand the thing you're trying to sell, you will do such a bad job. I've met so many streamers that don't look through the brief. They get on there, they're doing a brand deal, they don't know what they're talking about. And it could be kind of like funny in a comedic way, but you're not getting that brand deal again.
Yeah.
They're not going to spin back and want to do something with you again.
It's like Ubisoft and RDC, bro. When Dylan said that he was gonna play that game off stream. Oh my god.
So
it was
it's
funny,
worth
but
your
they
time to
probably didn't get hit up
understand
again by
what
Ubisoft.
exactly it is. In fact,
It doesn't seem like there's anything left to learn about this. Honestly, this video was peak. I learned a lot of stuff. Some of the things I learned, thumbnails. Try to draw attention to what you want the attention to be drawn to. Another thing I learned, definitely get some short form out on all different platforms. Honestly, that's about it. Draw attention in everything that you do, kind of, and especially in the short form content. Definitely draw attention in there. Like the example that he used with the two short form content videos with the racing. One guy just got crashed into, and he didn't really do anything else aside from get crashed into, showed his POV for the whole video, and the other guy was showing the race, the people around him. He was getting like all these different cinematic shots, put some color on the things that he didn't like, and then he showed himself inside the things that he didn't like, and he showed the crash right after. That just hooked you for the entire thing. I also learned that you also need to research. You can't just sit idly and try to do things, and you can't just do things. Otherwise, you're just going to be throwing a bunch of balls in the air and hopefully something lands. If you do some research before you do the thing, you're definitely going to, you're going to have like a greater chance of hitting, you know? it's like practice. Practice just makes perfect. Like practicing anything. Like you practicing your shot in basketball, psh, eventually you're gonna land a bunch of them. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Hey, it was peak though.